So what should you wear if you want to be a wedding photographer? Well, there's two camps. There's the I'm an artist, I do what I want camp, and there's the let me blend in with the wedding party camp. Tell a lie, there is a middleman. You can blend in while being functional and comfortable, because let's be fair, working a wedding is an intense job. Some do wear a smart polo neck shirt, smart jeans, usually all black. We used to call it the ninja look. That's cool if that's your thing, and if you think you're blending well, if that works with your crowd, with your clients, awesome. The extreme though is wearing your t-shirt and your jeans just as if you were lounging around the house and wearing your I'm an artist, I'll do what I want badge. That's not cool. Unless you're a super celebrity, you're probably not going to get away with that. No one's going to want you lounging around their wedding looking like a slob. That's up to you. I always go with a shirt and tie, usually black on white or a black on black, grey stripe, something smart, dark trousers. Obviously then if you're having to kneel in fairly dirty area, it doesn't show up so much, it'll brush off easily and it can take the wear and tear. I'll also wear some shoes that are practical, like these black ones. These are some Timberlands, these last me all day, they're waterproof, they take whatever. They're not the smartest shoe that I have, like these are one of the smartest shoes that I have anyway, but these would be no good on a long day wedding shoot. For me personally, you know how your feet work, so I like to wear my black Timberland shoes. They're nice and simple and they blend in well and they keep me going through 8-10 hours on my feet all day. You know best, but as long as they're smart, practical. Ladies, you're probably not going to want to wander around in high heels all day. Some of you might do, but maybe flats. Personally, I don't wear high heels, so I can't help you there, but I imagine flats are the way to go. Why don't I wear a suit jacket if I'm going the shirt, tie, trousers look? Well, because it's just too bulky. I use effectively a utility belt where I have my camera bodies hanging, my flash, my bits and pieces, and if I put a jacket over, it goes out. I did used to do that. Check this out. Now obviously I had the straps, the bodies hanging over at this moment, but I did have the flash on my belt underneath, and it just gets too awkward. Looks smart, but gets bulky once you start filling up your gear underneath on your belt. So I just leave the jacket in the car and I let it come out, perhaps during the first dance if necessary. I'm not carrying so much gear, or it just stays in there, depends how the day goes, but I know it's there just in case I need that extra smart look, or if it gets fairly cold. Now way back when I started, because I hate the cold, I would wear a smart coat as well when I was shooting outdoors. Now I found that to be a problem. Why? Well, the bride and groom aren't wearing the coats usually. They're out there freezing if it's England or a country like this. So I wanted to make sure I was still with them, not there cozy in my coat taking photos of them, but I can sympathise, empathise with how they're feeling. I know how cold they are to a degree, no pun intended. So it was a case of leave the coat at home, occasionally a waterproof or an umbrella as backup in case I have to pass through a very wet area in between shooting venues. Or you could go with the carrier bag route, just stick that over your gear as you dash to the car, as long as nobody sees and your gear is safe. You could get the rain covers if you want to spend a bit more money on that, that's cool, but for the most part I generally don't need it. If anything, if by then I've got my jacket, I just put it underneath and go for it. Occasionally I've had to carry a big umbrella through, leave that in the venue, and that's usually fine. Don't take anything too expensive because you never know what could happen. Most importantly, I find personally that by dressing smartly I can blend in more with the wedding party and feel more part of that wedding. Why do I say that? I'm obviously not invited as a guest. Well, I can blend in. It's easier to be documentary reportage photographer if you're not standing out as the help. For the most part you just want to mingle with the crowd, just blend into the ambience, just blend into the scene, and then just get on with it really. So I find wearing shirt and tie helps me do that. Now some of you guys might decide that you're going to wear a smart polo neck t-shirt or something like that, and that works for you. Maybe the crowds that you're working with, that's cool. But probably the opposite end, like we said, the slouch look, the I'm at home, I'm an artist, whatever, probably not going to work out too well, because there's always somebody that's going to take umbrage to the fact that this guy didn't even turn up, make an effort for the wedding. I tend to try to shave as well for the weddings. That looks good, looks smart. Get my hair cut, car washed, things you should do in real life, but especially for a wedding. It's their big day. They've made a lot of effort to look good. The family, the guests, everyone's spruced up to the nines. So, you know, to a degree, maybe you should think about doing the same thing. Depends upon your brand, depends upon your way of working, but it could be a good place to start. Just keep it smart, that way people are more likely to let you get on with your job, to blend in. Also helps you if you need to be authoritative, perhaps during the group shots. I'm not a big fan of the shouty, bossy photographer at all. But if you're there looking the part, they're like, okay, cool, yeah, let's listen to this guy. He's obviously the main photographer. Because believe me, there'll be somebody with a bigger camera than you, dressed up in the best suit, but not the wedding photographer. Maybe your way of standing out is wearing your polo neck shirt. Cool, as long as it's smart. For the ladies, I guess, you'd need to watch a different video, but as long as it's practical, something you can wear all day long, something that can take a bit of wear and tear. You're not going to want to wear your best Gucci suits, perhaps, unless you're at that high end of the market and you can afford to do that. That's cool. You don't particularly need to dress to stay warm. I tend to have a merino wool layer underneath that's nice and thin, and that keeps me fresh throughout the day. Other than that, I don't go too crazy with layers, because you're working, your adrenaline's going, you're concentrating through a tiny screen, you're watching a scene for ages, just waiting for that one smile, for that one bit of emotion that's really going to make the killer image. So I don't normally have a problem with the cold, and this is coming from someone that detests the cold. In fact, right after I finish this, I'm putting my coat on and going out, and I'm probably going to put gloves on, a hat on, the works. So I hate the cold, but at a wedding it's not normally a problem at all, and also helps you to respect that the bride and groom, if you're outdoors, aren't feeling so warm either occasionally. You don't want to leave them standing there for ages, but that's another video if anybody wants to see that. So in summary, what should you wear at a wedding if you're the photographer? Well, it's best to be smart, practical, blend in as much as possible. Don't outshine the bride or the groom, of course. Nice simple suits, appropriate footwear, just smart. Represent your brand, but fit in to the wedding that you're at. Gives a good impression and leaves them with a good image, no pun intended, of you. And other people see how you work as well. They see how you dress. They respect what you're doing even more. Unfortunately, yes, the I'm an artist thing is true. I am an artist. But to get your point across, to get what you want, sometimes you have to just blend in to the crowd a little bit with the way you dress. Then your work will shine for itself afterwards. So just a few tips, just a few points on what I think about dressing. I don't do the all black thing so much anymore, because that got awkward, because you get to the reception, often the waiters were dressed all in black, and one or two people came late, didn't realise you were the photographer. I don't know how they managed that, and they'd ask you for some food, which is a bit awkward. You decide, see what works for you. All black is not a problem. The ninja look is not so out of date. Okay, so I hope that's been useful to you. Thanks for listening to me waffle. Keep it smart, keep it real to your brand, and enjoy yourself. Thanks for watching. Subscribe below and be cool.